Hello everyone and welcome to our educational session. My name is Paul Arsov and I'm the founder of the Decentralized web project. The topic of our educational event today is how close are we to the brave new world. The topic touches on technology, specifically AI, and a little bit of psychology and a little bit of literature because it is talking about the book of Aldous Huxley called Brave New World, and it was published in 1932. Just like the George Orwell's work, 1984, which was done decades later, it is a warning. Aldous Huxley admonition, in addition to concern about state power over the individual, similar to Orwell's, was a pushback era to his era, like the time he was living, rampant enthusiasm for advancement in technology. So what is the Huxley's prescient warning? There is an obvious connection between Huxley concerns and the current fear of losing control over the rapidly accelerating capabilities of artificial intelligence. The coming massive displacement by AI of jobs based on document handling, information processing, content creation, legal work, accounting, and similar white-collar services may lead to societies forced to put tens of millions of formerly productive people on universal basic income, thus making them entirely dependent on the state. Similar employment-related effects are related to the rapid advance in robotics, in industry and logistics, drones used for deliveries, and the switch to autonomous vehicles may lead to the same need for a vastly expanded welfare state and the dependency that goes with it. But there is a more subtle danger, like a danger of the sort envisioned by Huxley that is forming and hiding in plain sight. The steady increase in state and corporate technology-assisted monitoring and control of society. Huxley was in fact not only sounding an alarm about the perils of an over-reliance on technology, he was alerting his contemporaries as to the dangers of society structured around it. Today's canary in the coal mine is China. Having started down the path of state control over society decades ago with its state-imposed one-child policy, since abandoned, China has more recently and even more ominously doubled down on societal control via its social credit system, a nationwide algorithm and surveillance-driven program designed to shape citizens' behavior with automated rewards and sanctions. The latter can include forms of blacklisting, make it more difficult, if not impossible, for non-compliant citizens to obtain jobs, education, housing, and other benefits. Americans may feel that they are sufficiently protected via their democratic form of government, their constitution, and their legal system from such state-imposed societal control. Yet, in part of China's control framework that governing the creditworthiness of individuals is already much more present in American life with all its pervasive computerized algorithm-driven credit score, which can very much complicate the life of citizens not corresponding to the ideal credit profile, even if they have no debit at all or are otherwise on solid financial footing. Credit scores are merely the visible part of the iceberg, slowly expanding technology-driven practices serving to loosen the human connection and bonds that have herefore constituted society, replacing them with the state and corporate structures and digital platforms and services. Standing back and comparing how our current society and way of living have evolved in just the past, say, 3 decades, and comparing this development with how Huxley describes life in the world state, and the parallels are both numerous and disturbing. In the book, the use of state-approved opiate called Soma is encouraged to help people relax and escape worry or stress. And it is foreshadowing of Americans' now widespread use of similar drugs, notably marijuana, tranquilizers, and other forms of medical or narcotic pain or stress relief. Both are legal and illegal. Today's economy, in which both parents of children must work, in most cases to make ends meet, in conjunction with the resulting need for outsourced childcare and the trend to pre-K schooling at ever earlier ages, can be considered an edging towards the world state, sole responsibility for the raising and indoctrination of babies and children. World state children, as described in the book, are conditioned from birth to belong to one of 5 hierarchically descending castes: alpha, beta, gamma, delta, or epsilon. This broadly reflects in our modern society how family socio-economic status is the key factor in child's future education, environment, diet, standard of living, and social connections. This in turn strongly influence or even determine the child's health and resulting body shape, professional options, choice about tattoos, piercings, manner of dress, and general bearing, even to the extent that someone's social class can today often be accurately guessed simply on the basis of their appearance. The modern version of the world state caste system is further reinforced by the widespread popularity of filter-powered online dating platforms, enabling higher status individuals, in particularly women, to automatically exclude the possibility of connecting with and eventually procreating with less attractive and lower class ones. The world state, as described in the book, focus on keeping citizens entertained and fully engaged in consumerism is one of the most obvious parallels with modern culture. Yet even Huxley could not imagine the extent to which people today have and enjoy unlimited, anytime, anywhere access to algorithmically served up movies, television series, music, sports, pornography, memes, shopping, animation, political propaganda, and every hybrid and variant thereof. As opposed to the social participative pastimes of, well, the past, card, parlor, and board games, knitting circles, bowling teams, and the likes. Modern entertainment is largely passive and solitary. Its addictive enjoyment weakens social bonds and personal agency rather than strengthening them. It is, in a way, another type of opiate, digitally transmitted soma. In Huxley's novel, at a certain point, two of the protagonists, Bernard and Lenina, receive permission to visit a remote, uncivilized territory called the reservation. Among other things, they're shocked to see actual elderly people aging naturally as opposed to the artificial maintained youthful looks achieved with chemicals and hormones of the people of the world states London. For England's capital city in the book, we can substitute today's Los Angeles, New York, Dallas, or pretty much any other major city where Botox, fillers, plastic surgery, and other techniques are widely used to hold back the signs of aging. Similar to what fictionally happens in Huxley's Reservation, today those past a certain age are increasingly banished to care homes or retirement communities, removing them from the mainstream social mix. The result is the by now nearly vanished concept of the extended family living together or in geographical proximity, in which grandparents contributed to the upbringing of their grandchildren, transmitting along the way family traditions, social norms, and cultural identity. For all its focus on the danger of state-controlled, technologically driven structuring of society, there is an even more sinister aspect of the world state as described by Huxley. The state's conviction that a stable, peaceful society is one of which personal autonomy must be suppressed, one in which all forms of pain have been banished, and one in which consumerism and the pursuit of pleasure are the population's main activity and reason reason to exist. Worse, Huxley's novel described the world state's goal of societal happiness as incompatible with the search for truth and meaning. Huxley's world controller character, called Mustafa Mont, posits that the irrelevance of truth and the engineered absence of suffering promote happiness in society. This, he explains, is the only way to achieve social stability, and that this stability in turn guarantees the permanence of happiness. Orwell's imagined state imposition of societal stability with harsher and grimmer than Huxley's, but both have their equivalents today. In places like China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea, totalitarian and, where necessary, brutal enforcement of political and societal control is imposed by the ruling regime, and in Iran's case by religious authorities. In the West, by contrast, governments are increasingly acquiescent to the lobbying of corporations and complicit to the latter's soft control of a population rendered docile by consumerism, solitude, gluttony, opiates, and endless entertainment options. In both cases, truth has become a casualty of the achieved stability, repressed through draconian control of the media and the educational system in the world dictatorial regimes, and rendered irrelevant in the West via general preferences for comforts, palliatives, and distractions. Speaking truth to power results in present times, or worse, in the world's totalitarian states. In the West, truth is being diluted to near meaninglessness. Its former definition as objective, definite, incontrovertible, and fact-based, giving way to the idea of subjective, feeling-driven, and personal lived opinions and opinion-based truths. But we are perhaps not only at the beginning of our path towards a brave new world. Bricks in the technology-driven wall of control continue to be piled one upon the other, but in an almost imperceptibly gradual way that allows these measures to meet little, if any, resistance. Examples include the government's drive to discourage or even eliminate the use of cash in favor of purely digital and therefore traceable by the government means of payment. The plans being incubated by central banks to issue their own cryptocurrencies, insulated from conventional measuring of money supply, inflation, and fiscal probity. The forced phasing out of internal combustion engines in favor of electric vehicles connected to the grid, allowing for centralized digital monitoring of vehicle use and location, and the storing of the citizens' DNA in digital databases, opening the way for exploitation by marketers and making possible genetic-based discrimination by employers and insurance companies. In Mark Zuckerberg's obsession with building his own metaverse, virtual world, we have perhaps the clearest signal that those today with real power, the owners of the digital platforms that we increasingly use to access our information, carry out our consumption, enjoy our entertainment, and interact with our social connections. Seek to attract us to a simulation of the kind of centrally organized, happy, and stable society that Huxley cautioned against in his book, lest the accusation of new Luddite thinking be leveled against these concerns. It is undeniable that technology has made and continues to make our lives easier, healthier, more productive, and more interesting. We can employ it to carry on the best we can, both individually and as a society, to reach for happiness as we strive to diminish suffering. We can always choose to seek the truth, even if it is an uncomfortable or inconvenient one, amidst the swirling disinformation and manipulation. We can do these things only if we resist the temptation to use technology for the purposes of societal control. Our legal system won't protect us from Huxley's nightmarish vision. Laws can be changed whereby the unthinkable becomes the obligatory. Religion won't save us. History has shown well enough how its leaders can use their influence to corral us just as easily as to inspire us. Art, although it is tempting to think so, is not the bulwark. It can be politically manipulated and can thus serve as an instrument of power. And furthermore, can today be created by machines in truly impressive ways unimaginable a scant 5 years ago. Technology itself most certainly isn't the answer. Kubrick and Cameron gave us a sneak preview of that with respectively their HAL 9000 in Space Odyssey and the Skynet in the Terminator films. It is today not alarmist to predict, as many leading technologists have, that one day artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, and advanced networked drones, robots, and similar machines will inevitably learn to connect and combine in some way to achieve at some point, perhaps not too far in the future, the capacity to override the safeguards we think we are able to program into them. We are not quite yet into the matrix. So how do we make sure we can still escape the fate described by Huxley? What is the equivalent of having the courage, while there is still time, to take the awareness enabling red pill offered to Neo in Wachowski's science fiction classic, rather than swallowing another mind-numbing blue pill as we Netflix and chill? What is needed is a defensive reflex, whereby we reject instinctively, as a collective survival mechanism, any technology-driven measure capable of enabling yet more intrusive monitoring and remote influencing of our individual actions, opinions, and way of life. And to be ready, this is the most difficult part, to trade some degree of safety, health, and yes, even happiness for the right to live, subject as few centralized and digitally organized control as possible. There will always be strong and even fully valid arguments for an even more complex lattice of data upon which our lives are organized, measured, and managed. Finding the right balance between what is good for society versus what infringes upon the rights of the individual is and will always be an inexact science. But while we keep a wary eye on technology, vigilant that microchip-powered tools never evolved into digital yokes, we must keep in mind and guard against slipping imperceptibly into other facets of Huxley's vision, a world where the concept of family, friendship, and community have been obliterated, one in which deep emotions have been suppressed and replaced by superficiality and amusing distractions, one in which, similar to Orwell's 1984, historical knowledge and cultural heritage have been rewritten, condemned, or erased, and one in which spirituality, meant as the pursuit of higher truths or personal growth, is discouraged. That list resonates very uncomfortably with societal patterns we see emerging and consolidating today before our very eyes. Um, Contrary to what politicians and tech billionaires would have us believe, change and progress don't always perform as advertised. In our increasingly digital, virtual algorithm-run world, um, to stave our serfdom to circuits, we must start to give preference whenever possible to the human connection, to real conversations, and even clashes of viewpoints, both those external with others and those internals within ourselves. We must struggle to retain freedom, autonomy, and perhaps most crucially, autonomy where desired in matters financial, uh, religious, political, and lifestyle. We must provide our children with sound moral grounding and educational basics while also fostering in them a fierce love of independence and self-reliance and a healthy distrust of power. We must rediscover the ability of religion not to create certainties, but rather to question those that blind us to self-reflection. In other words, ultimately, the best counterweight to Huxley portent is simply to quite literally get back in touch with our fellow men. This is all the more important now that AI-powered digital persona are increasingly able to pass the famous Turing test, capable of fooling humans into thinking they're engaged in a dialogue with another actual human being, or even via eerily accurate voice emulation and digital video rendering. A trusted friend, family member, classmate, or colleague. Faced with the prospects of such powerful digital trickery, we must start to eschew as much as possible digital communication interfaces in favor of face-to-face or in real-life contact. We must trade in our emojis and likes for comments on social platforms, for actual in-the-flesh conversations, lunches, dinners, and chess games in the park. Switch off our scrolling and streaming and instead organize and attend parties, sports events, concerts, game nights, and comedy hours. We must rediscover the ancestral human comfort of being surrounded by our fellow human brethren, even it is just sitting and having a coffee or a drink in a physical proximity with other people in a bar, cafe, or restaurant. This hit the warning. Over tens of thousands of years, a sense of shared community and the everyday casual and random person-to-person interactions that go with it is perhaps the most important collective feeling that has made us more than animals and what makes us different to machines. There are foundations, basic building blocks and structures of humanity that have developed over time for a reason, to allow them to corrode and fall into disuse, traded for the dehumanized logic of systems and the uncompromising perfection of circuits in the quest for even greater comfort, efficiency, and stability is civilizational suicide. Huxley imagined it. We have been forewarned. And with this said, I'm ending this presentation, and I didn't mention in the beginning, but I'm the founder of Decentralized Web project, and currently I work on one additional project. My name is Paul Arsov, and with the Decentralized Web project, we're building decentralized communication and advertising platform, and with it release an NFT marketplace and collection of NFTs based on three-dimensional objects. We have built our own 3D software engine, and we do not use popular choices like game engines called, for example, Unity or Unreal. We have our 3D software engine, and what it does is it reads the file of the 3D NFT. It opens a window on a computer screen. It loads the 3D file. It displays this file, and it starts animating the 3D NFT in a way of moving it in random fashion around the window it did open. In addition to the opening a window and animating the 3D NFT, our 3D software engine has multiple additional capability. The first additional capability of our 3D NFTs is the capability of speaking. The 3D NFTs can speak in one of three basic voices, either in a male voice or in a female voice or in a whisper kind of a voice. In addition to the three basic voices, there are three different flavors of voices. Voice can be spoken either in a normal speed manner or in a fast speed manner or in a slow speed manner. And if, for example, we take a male voice and it is spoken in a slow speed manner, then this voice can come as the voice of a masculine person, or the voice of an old person. If on the other hand we take a female voice and it is spoken in a fast-speed manner, then this voice can come as the voice of a little girl or the voice of a funny person. The next additionally important capability is the capability of voice recognition. If, for example, we have a 3D NFT, which is moving in a random fashion around the window, we can then issue our very first voice command to the 3D NFT to stop moving. And then the 3D NFT is going to stand still and stop moving. We can issue following commands to the 3D NFT to move left, move right, move up, move down, zoom in, zoom out, rotate. And then the 3D NFT is going to fulfill each one of these separate voice commands and move left, then move right, move up, then move down, come closer, zoom in, go further away, zoom out, and start rotating. The next additional and important capability is the capability of the 3D NFTs having a basic artificial intelligence. Wow, really wow. The 3D NFTs, you can ask the 3D NFT, what is your name? And then the 3D NFT is going to reply with their name. You can ask the 3D NFT, who are you? And then the 3D NFT is going to tell you in few sentences who they are. You can ask the 3D NFT to describe something, describe Web3 or decentralization or describe Russia. And then the 3D NFT is going to reply in few sentences about Web3 or about decentralization or about the country called Russia. You can also, the last additionally important capability for our 3D NFTs is the capability of them being displayed in a way of stereoscopics. What stereoscopics means is that part of the 3D NFT is going to be displayed in red or reddish colors, and another part of the 3D NFT is going to be displayed in blue or bluish color. Then you can come to our 3D NFT marketplace, and the URL and the name of our 3D NFT marketplace is 3dnft.decentralizedweb.org. 3D NFT is typed in a way of the number 3 followed by the letter D followed by 3 other letters NFT, then there is dot, then there are two words, decentralized and web, and they're typed all together, decentralized web. Then there is dot and it ends with org. Once again, 3dnft.decentralizedweb.org. On the top of the main page, you are going to see a link to accessories. You can click on this link and you are going to see that we offer special glasses. You can, when you order one of these special glasses, then you're going to see that one lens of these glasses is blue and the other lens of these glasses is red. When you order and receive these glasses, you can put them on. You can request displaying the 3D NFT in a way of stereoscopics, and then you are going to see the 3D NFT as coming out of the flat two-dimensional computer screen, and you're going to see it in real 3 dimensions. With this said, I'm ending talking about our 3D NFTs and the software engine, but I can tell you a little bit about our marketplace. In our marketplace, we have our own blockchain instance, and we do not require our users to pay gas fees for deployments of the smart contracts for the non-fungible tokens, and to pay for transactions of transfer of ownership from one user to another user. In this way, like we allow our users to pay in multiple crypto coins, and currently we have 4 different choices of payments, paying with either Solana Sol or Polygon Matic or Avalanche Avax or Qcoin, which is a big centralized crypto exchange. They have a coin called KCS. In addition to buying and selling with crypto, we have a second parallel and independent way of buying and selling, and it is done entirely in fiat currency. You can buy the 3D NFT by paying with your debit or credit card, and like you can play a little bit with the 3D NFT. When you put this 3D, you can put this 3D NFT for sale again, and if somebody buys this 3D NFT and pays for this 3D NFT in fiat currency, then you are going to receive the proceedings of the payment in your bank account. And in addition to this, while our bank account is in US dollars, users can have a choice of paying in their own fiat currency as well. And we have the capability of converting from the fiat currency of the user to US dollars and back. With this said, I'm ending talking about the first project I work on, and I like to tell you a little bit about the second project I work on. The name and the URL of this project is power.rstack.com. Power is the same usual word for power. Then there's dot, and then there's rstack. I can spell it Alpha Robert Sam Tom Echo Charlie Hotel, rstack.com. And this project aims to create power management solutions which allow measuring currents, switching power on and off, and charging electric vehicles. We're proposing, while currently many electric vehicles, they are charged in a way of following the metaphor of a gas station. So they go to a specific location, they get handle from something resembling a gas pump, and then they stay and charge their vehicle, and then they leave. We are proposing another model, because this gas station model is going to be ultimately insufficient for the exponential growth of electric vehicles. We're proposing installing chargers like ones we're developing in parking lots, where users can start and enable them and make payments at the point of charging, but at the location of the parking lot. And with this said, I'm ending this educational presentation. Thank you for coming. Thank you for viewing. Have a nice day. Have a nice evening, and goodbye.